Live from London, this is BBC News. Net migration to the UK reaches record levels, hitting more than 600,000 in 2022. After a storm of racist abuse against Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr., the president of Spain's La Liga says eliminating racism will never be possible.
Eliminating this problem 100% will never be possible, the same way that totally eliminating robberies and other crimes is impossible.
The Republican governor launches his 2024 presidential bid in an announcement overshadowed by technical glitches. With Ron DeSantis trailing Donald Trump in the early polls, we'll break down the numbers with veteran American pollster Frank Luntz.
I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do.
And an avalanche of tributes to the music legend Tina Turner. Hello, I'm Matthew Emery-Waller and welcome to Verified Live. 3 hours of breaking stories and checking out the truth behind them. So let's start with the big story here in the UK. Net migration here reaching record levels last year with 606,000 people added to the population. The numbers were boosted by the arrival of hundreds of thousands of international students and skilled workers, including more than 200,000 nurses and carers. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has said net migration is too high and he wants to bring the numbers down. Well, in a moment we'll get more from our political correspondent Jonathan Blake, but first let's speak to our head of data, Robert Cuff. And Robert, just take us through the basic numbers here.
Well, the main number you said, that 600,000 people coming through, the main reasons why we're seeing such a large number of people is people coming to the UK from outside the EU. Migration within the EU and around the UK, actually it's not very substantial, and I can show you that here now. This is, the green line here is showing you the number of people who are adding to the UK's population from outside the EU, and you can see that that's accounting for more than 600,000, more than the total net migration into the UK. And if you look, for example, at the blue line, people from the EU, you'll see actually more people from the EU citizens left the UK last year than came in. So really what's driving it here is, as I said, migration from outside the EU. And if you dig into the reasons why people are coming, it's pretty clear that study and work are top of the list. I can show you that here now. Between the two of them, they're accounting for about 600,000 people coming to the UK. After them, you're seeing people coming for the exceptional circumstances of fleeing the conflict in Ukraine and also coming in on the special British National Overseas Programme for people from Hong Kong with asylum and joining family who are already in the UK, kind of bringing up the rear in terms of the reasons why people are coming.
And Robert, we always look for trends. Has this peaked in terms of the headline number, do you think?
Yeah, there are suggestions that the numbers are starting to come down, and I think if you look at the reasons, you can kind of work out why that is. This is, when I add in this blue line here now, what I'm showing you is what the reasons for people coming were the year before in 2021. And we see what's done a lot of the lifting, a lot of the rise is in the middle here. People coming from the Ukraine and under the BNO programme. So hopefully those are one-off, right? The war in Ukraine, we've already seen the number of people coming has started to slow down. There are fewer people coming in, so this will probably be a lower number in 2023. When we look at the number of people who are coming to study, it's up a little bit, but when people come to study, they tend to leave 2 or 3 years later. Not that many people come to study and then stay forever. So even if the government did nothing at all, we would still probably see numbers come down. And of course, they are doing something. They're trying to bear down on people coming to seek asylum. They're also trying to bear down on people bringing their families with them when they come to study. So that might have a bit of an impact on the numbers as well. I think the problem for them, or the question for them politically, is whether that will have an effect in the next year or two and before the next election.
You mentioned there asylum. There are large numbers in terms of the backlog of cases, aren't there?
Yeah, the number of asylum seekers coming to the country is not making a huge difference in terms of the overall picture of migration. We can see it's about 70,000-80,000 out of maybe 1 million people coming to the UK overall last year. So it's not changing the population, but it is putting real pressure on the Home Office, and we can see that when we look at the number of people who've been waiting for their asylum claim to be processed. That's been rising sharply over the last few years, and now it's reached this level of nearly 175,000 people waiting for their claim to be processed, to be accepted or rejected. And of those, I think about 120,000 have been waiting for more than 6 months. Now, this rise particularly steep over the last few years, and it is starting to ease off a little bit. There is some hope that they're making some headway, but it's not clear yet whether that's because of the increase in staff numbers. They've nearly doubled since March last year, or whether it's changing how they process, so just not chasing so hard after someone who's not contactable before they decide to bin their claim. So it's not clear whether that's a productivity gain yet, and whether they're just taking the easy route, or we'll see long-term falls.
Rob,